They live among us. They look like us, but the absence of grace and benevolence make them fundamentally different from us. Everyone collides with them at some point and consequently finds himself wishing, if only for a moment, that the Great Flood had been a total success. My last run-in with one of their ilk occurred while I was catering a company Christmas party for some electrical contracting outfit in Gainesville. As the guests poured in, I spotted this dipshit dressed like Snidely Whiplash, sauntering through the doorway, black duster, black cowboy hat, and an absurd horseshoe mustache that only a wannabe Wild West outlaw would wear. Dinner was served, the speaker spoke. A handful of couples trickled towards the dance floor. Passing Snidely tables, I noticed that he was smoking a cigarette. I politely explained that smoking was a fire hazard and was therefore not allowed. I shouldn't have had to shower him with individualized attention like a developmentally disabled grade schooler, since signs were posted, ashtrays were absent, and everyone else who wished to court cancer had stepped outside to do so. I picked the ashtray up and started off. Just to be a cocky, macho, redneck asshole and turn a pleasant situation unpleasant, he said, "I'm just going to get another one." "Good," I shot back, "and I'll have you thrown out." Snidely is the kind of guy who litters, parks in handicapped spots, and routinely drives drunk because he just doesn't give a shit. He respects nothing and no one. Imagine if the hotel caught fire, his wife and co-workers were burned alive because this self-centered sociopath couldn't trouble himself to smoke outside. I'll bet he wouldn't lose a wink of sleep. Guilt and shame are the attributes of noblemen, not boogeymen. An hour or so later, I was returning from break when a woman ran by shouting, "Call the cops!" I didn't know what the commotion was about, but I knew who was responsible. I rounded the corner just in time to see two bloody brawlers being pried apart by the surrounding crowd. Now, it's often said that assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. I assumed that I was going to find Snidely going punch for punch with another mouth-breathing alpha male over some inane issue like whether Dale Earnhardt's death was a greater tragedy than Ronnie Van Zant's. I fucked up. It was not Snidely, it was his wife. Disgust hadn't even fully set in when activity in my periphery averted my attention. I turned my head to find Snidely in a knockdown, drag-out title bout of his own. If I were elected president, my first order of business would be signing Snidely's death warrant before he and his wife could spawn a litter of pint-sized Snideleys who get off on telling racist and homophobic jokes until they're grown enough to commit hate crimes. The inference I drew from that sorry spectacle was sorrier than the spectacle itself. That night I realized that there is no such thing as karma or comeuppance. Snidely's wife was gorgeous, prom queen pretty enough to go through life without ever opening a door for herself. Instead, she chose to marry a guy who is to being an asshole what Jimi Hendrix was to the electric guitar.